This week's movies: Dallas Buyers Club, About Time, and Ender's Game.
A great responsibility rests upon each of you. When the enemy first invaded, we were not ready. Millions of innocent lives were lost. That must never be allowed to happen again.
Ender's Game is a sci-fi film based on the book by Orson Scott Card about a youngster who is trained as a warrior to fight Earth's enemies.
My car fired directly up into the ice.
Starring Asa Butterfield as Ender Wiggin, Harrison Ford as Colonel Graff, and Viola Davis as Major Gwen Anderson, Ender's Game is written and directed by Gavin Hood.
Still think he's not ready?
In her review, Manola Dargis writes, "The adults in Ender's Game come off as exceedingly creepy, despite Harrison Ford's strained avuncularity and Viola Davis's flooding eyes. Ender is singled out because he seems to be a natural leader, which in the logic of both the book and the movie means someone who imposes his will on friend and enemy alike. He's rational and brutal, which is a harder sell on the screen, where every punch carries an unsettling intensity that the director, Gavin Hood, has trouble managing."
It's what I was born for, right?
Asa Butterfield is one of those young performers whose seriousness feels as if it sprang from deep within. And while he's an appealing presence, little Ender can't help feeling like a pint-sized psycho.
My dear son, there's this family secret. And the secret is that the men in the family can travel in time. Well, more accurately, travel back in time. We can't travel into the future.
Written and directed by Richard Curtis, About Time is a romantic comedy starring Domhnall Gleeson as Tim and Rachel McAdams as Mary. The film is about a young man who keeps traveling back in time to win his true love's heart.
Would it be very wrong if I asked you for your number?
In his review, A.O. Scott writes, "Its ideal of perfect happiness, Tim's goal, is the dull, frictionless bliss of television commercials in which people are good-looking and superficially clever without actually being interesting."
Do you ever answer any of your own questions?
Yes, he does. Usually he does, but not today because I'm doing all the talking.
Occasional bouts of sorrow or uncertainty make Tim a better person, not just better than his old self, but also better, in spite of his stammering demurrals, than everybody else, including you.
This is my patient. You treating these people?
Oh, they're treating themselves.
With what?
Vitamins, peptide T, DDC, anything but that poison you're hawking.
Dallas Buyers Club, directed by Jean-Marc Vallée, is a biographical drama about Ron Woodruff, an HIV-positive electrician from Texas who established a buyers club to provide treatments to others. Starring Matthew McConaughey as Ron Woodruff, Jennifer Garner as Eve, and Jared Leto as Rayon.
Yeah.
In his review, A.O. Scott writes, Dallas Buyers Club presents the fable of a homophobe's awakening, with supporting roles given to Miss Garner's kind doctor and to Rayon, Jared Leto, a troubled transgender person who becomes Ron's business partner.
Why are you so good to me?
Mr. Leto is always a subtle and intriguing actor, but Rayon essentially revives the ancient stereotype of the tragic, self-destructive queen, suffering operatically and depending at last on the kindness of strangers.
I will try my very best.
I want you to mean it.